Welcome to the Crypto Unlock show where I break down complex concepts and processes related to crypto, blockchain, and everything in between in ways that is easy for everyone to understand. Welcome, everybody, to the Crypto Unlock Show. I'm your host, Adnan Arif. I'm a former digital marketer who's turned into a crypto investor, crypto coach, crypto consultant, and I am a lover of technologies. Guys, no, you don't know how long I have been waiting, wanting to say that. I mean, not my introduction, guys. That could be a little bit self-obsessed. No, no, no. But like I've been waiting to say welcome to my show. Especially the people who know me, my close friends and family, know that I've been wanting to like have a vlog or a podcast or a show for such a long time. And to be honest, I've also kind of tried some different failed projects that I had. I tried a few projects that kind of failed, but more on that later on. Welcome to the Crypto Unlock Show, episode one. Uh, who I am, my introduction, maybe. Yeah, I still need to figure out what to name this. But yes, guys. So wherever you're watching this or listening in, tuning in, thank you so very much to be a part of this family and this podcast. It really means a lot to me. So this podcast will be put up on YouTube as a video podcast. So hey guys, and will be also aired on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and obviously my favorite music streaming platform, Spotify. So guys, this is the first time ever I'm doing a podcast. I'm going to try and take it slow and speak slowly, and try to like obviously get to a point where like my podcast is fantastic. So I'm more than happy for any of your constructive feedback, any of your feedback. Please let me know in the comments on YouTube, or you can find me on Instagram at Crypto Adnan, or however it works on like podcasts. I think it's a like or something. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. So yeah, guys, welcome to episode one. In this episode, I will be talking about myself. I promise this is the only episode that I'll be talking about myself. I don't think I'm that interesting to keep talking about myself the whole series. But yeah, this episode is gonna be about me. Who am I? What has my journey been? How has crypto been a part of that journey? And what is this podcast all about? What kind of topics we're going to be talking about? Who are the kind of guests that we're going to be bringing on? And how often this podcast is going to be aired? And so on and so forth. All right. All right, guys. So, for the people who know me, what's up, guys? I see you. Thank you so much for being here. For the people who don't know me, thank you again for being here. Um, my name is Adnan Arif. I'm an Indian expat born and raised in the UAE, specifically in Dubai. Family of five, two elder brothers, and I'm the youngest of the three siblings. Yeah, that's been my life. Grew up from what Dubai was to where it is now, and I've seen that journey, that growth happen. Which is fantastic, fantastic. So, guys, yeah, I've always loved technology. I remember, I think I was 5 or 6 years old. I was like very little back then. And we got our first ever computer at home. And that whole experience of like, unboxing it with my brothers and, setting it up and all of these things, like I had no clue. I was just gobsmacked by this thing that was there on on a table, and like my brothers are using it and interacting with it, and I was just like, wow. Um, just be it whatever. There wasn't much to do on the computer back then. We had this game which was called Doom, I think. Doom, yes. It was this game where like it was like a maze, and very bad graphics, obviously, back then. But yeah, it was just like this guy who had this weapons, and He was running through this maze and I think killing these demons, or like I don't know what it was, something. But yeah, it was amazing, and obviously being the youngest out of the three, I used to get the least amount of time to interact with thing computer. uh, oh my man, it was just beautiful, I remember same thing when we got our first PlayStation in. Oh my god, it was so super exciting. Remember the same thing when I got my first phone. Super exciting. When the first phone came, like the first mobile phone came in our house. The closest thing to a smartphone back then were those Nokia communicator ones, which my dad had. And there wasn't much that you could do on that, but the only thing of just actually interacting with this device, which can possibly open up to a new world, like connect you to the whole world, was just fascinating to me. Um, Fast forward a couple of years later, I've been I went through uni. Sorry, before that, actually, I wanted to tell you this. I actually was in my mid school, yeah, um, when I was studying in an Indian school here in Dubai, and all we got was this 1 hour in a week, so-called computer lab, basically, where we would go and use these computers. We couldn't connect to the internet, but we could just use these computers, and they were teaching us like the basics, how to, I don't know, save a file or something like that. I remember it was ridiculous, like the bare basics, and I quickly like went past that, and we started learning Microsoft Office kind of products and stuff, and PowerPoint is one thing that really like stood out to me because of those beautiful like animations and those flashy things, and you could do so much about with it. And in my spare time, what I would do is I would like sneak into these computer labs and you know act like as if I'm doing a lot of like dedicated work so no one disturbs me. There were probably just like about 10 computers in one room, probably as big as this room. And I'll just act like I'm doing some work so no one like asks me, are you supposed to be here right now? And I used to create these presentations, and I remember once there was this cricket World Cup going on, and I went and I created a presentation slide on like on each of the teams with all the players and the captain and the order of whatever their starting 11 or something like that would be. And it was just amazing. Like I just love that, like something to do. And I guess that's where like my creativity also like started like oozing out and stuff. um, Fast forward a couple of years later, and I have always been an admirer of tech. And I remember watching the first ever keynote of an iPhone, Apple's iPhone. And I didn't watch it live, but I watched it like a couple of weeks around the time that it came out. And it was just fascinating that this phone had a touch screen. All the phones up till now, up till then, yeah, they had a little small aspect of a touch screen in them, but majority of them were just like these button clunky old things. And I mean, in perspective, if you look at the first ever iPhone compared to the iPhones that are there right now, the first ever iPhone was probably clunky right now, but you get what I mean. Yeah, so I was just fascinated that this whole touch screen, wow, this is amazing. This is like marvelous. I'm in love, you know. And I remember one of my friends' dad or something got it, uncle, someone got it like almost immediately, like, and we would just like play on this, like, see, oh my god, there's apps. Wow, you can play this game, you can do this. And it was just naive and like trying to see on what the technology can actually do, and somewhere along that road, like, I grew up um, still fascinated with technology. But that, I think, as you grow up with going into high school and uni, you have a lot more other things that attract you. Girls and teenage stuff and whatnot. So you just kind of like lose out your. I kind of did lose this passion, but it wasn't until like 2019 that it really sparked back on. Guys. Um, so before I come to that thing, I skipped a lot of years. So let me rewind a little bit. So in 2014, was it 2014? Yes, I went to uni in the UK, did my undergrad in mechanical engineering. Yes, I am a mechanical engineer by qualification. But I don't think that really means anything these days. Um, yeah, 3 wonderful years of my life. Love the UK. Love the place, love the vibe, everything that it has to offer. 3 wonderful years. And I came, and during that time, I was actually introduced to affiliate marketing. And my brother was also doing some kind of drop shipping aspect as well at that point of time. This was 2016, 2017 time, those couple of years. And then I got hooked. I just loved marketing, and I quickly realized that I'm actually really good at it. And I was like, you know what? Screw this engineering degree. I'm gonna focus straight on in marketing. So I came back to Dubai after I graduated. I graduated with a first class honors, guys. So I did focus on what the priority was at that point. But quickly when I came back, I was like, you know what, screw this. I was the first engineer in my family. My dad has an engineering firm here in Dubai, but I was like, Dad, I don't want to do this. I want to do marketing. And he's like, okay, son, go do what you want to do. Thank you, Dad. So started working as a freelance social media guy. Used to go to these restaurants, tell them, hey, your social media is poor. I can do this, and if you like it, then pay me from the next month onwards. And so on and so forth. So I started getting a few clients like that. Met a friend who was a digital marketer herself. Shout out to Manisha Datta. She like kind of like took me under her arm and under her wings. Not arm. Took me under her wing and like taught me a lot, and I was learning a lot from YouTube and multiple different courses on Udemy, Coursera, all of these things. Just absorbing. I was a sponge, just absorbing all of this and like going out and like finding clients and stuff like that. And then finally I landed this job with the biggest agency in one of the biggest media agencies in the Middle East, OMD Group. And I was doing all of a sudden I was doing like SEO work for Audi, VW, and some very big local clients here, which is fantastic. I loved it, you know. And quickly I got poached by another company, and I was like I quickly went up the ranks. I was doing digital marketing for like an events company, and in my span over there, I did almost I don't know 50 plus events in that 2.5 years, close to 3 years that I was were in with that company. In events. Um, so it was around that time that I met my friend Will, who's currently working for I think it's a layer one blockchain project, Proton. Um, and I think he's in USA or Canada. He keeps traveling quite a bit, so I'm not too sure. So yeah, I met him after like a really hectic day at work, and it was ridiculous because let me tell you something about events industry, or like the kind of, I'm not trying to badmouth anyone, but the organization I was in was horrible. Like they didn't really value like your human resource and stuff like that. There were prolonged period of times where I used to work maybe 18, 19 hours a day, and it was ridiculous. It was exhausting. Yes, the pay was good, but uh it wasn't sustainable. um and then so one of these days, we had like a horrible week at work, and we met up after work, and Will comes up to me. He's like, have you heard of crypto? And I did hear about like blockchain, sorry, Bitcoin, my bad. Bitcoin and blockchain a little bit, because a couple of the events that we did were about like fourth industrial revolution and technologies, and obviously AI, robotics, machine learning, blockchain, all kind of like sits in that ecosystem. So, and at this point, I had nobody in my immediate space, like my family, my friends, people I used to hang out with on a day to day basis, or like none of them knew what blockchain, Bitcoin, crypto, any of that is. Nada, zilch, yeah. So I go like, yes, I've heard of it, but I don't really know what it is, and I've never really like understood it all. So he goes like, forget about all of that. Okay, this coin, I'm not going to name this coin. Okay, uh, buy this coin right now. I mean, because his friend who had bought Chainlink for like maybe 2 cents or 3 cents, something like that, has given him this tip, and he said that this is going to be the next like Chainlink. It's going to moon. Um, uh, and I was like, you know what? Say no more. This sounds exciting. I've never really invested before that. I had savings and stuff, but never really invested or any of that. So like, say no more. Let's do this. Um, and I remember after that evening, I got back home and I called him up and I was like, bro, can you tell me how do I do this? So he told me the whole step. Go on to Binance, do your whole KYC jazz. Okay, go on to Binance, put in your debit card, put in the amount of Bitcoin you need to buy. And once you do that, you need to transfer it to Hotbit, where that coin was uh, available. By the way, I'm not naming that coin because that $500 that I actually put in a little bit more because I thought I was being smart about it. Okay. And, so I was like, okay, cool. Um, it's like, okay, cool. I'm going to put $500 in this. Okay. And he's like, okay, cool. You just need to go to Binance. So I kind of lost my thought there. But yeah, go to Binance, buy a Bitcoin. Um, Go on to once you get the Bitcoin, transfer it to Hotbit, buy this coin. Yes, sorry, why I lost my thought was just addressing this again. Sorry, guys, but I'm not naming this coin is because it's now worth like $3. Okay, it's ridiculous. It's horrible. But in at that point, why I decided to put $500 is because it was somewhere in the range of 0.00008 cents for one coin, of that shit coin, basically. And I was like, dude, all it needs to do is just go to $1, and that's it. I'm set for life. My next generation is sorted. I don't care about the generation after that. Like family, home, every done, set. I don't have to worry about anything. Never have to think about anything. I want to go to Paris for lunch. Let's go. I want to go to somewhere else for the weekend. Let's go. So that was the thought process and the mentality and the whole allure of crypto that was there. Because if you would just Google anyone at that point of time, with crypto and stuff, they're the guys who got into crypto at maybe in 2009, 2010, 2011, when it was like not even $1. And at that point Bitcoin was trading well over thousands of dollars. um, so they really 1000x their initial gains, initial capital. So, and they were living the life, and that was the kind of like attraction that was there initially with crypto. Forget the technology. I didn't even think about what the tech is. What the heck am I buying into? Didn't even do any of that research. So I did that, bought the coin, uh, went down. I was like, you know what? Perfect time. Go down. I'm going to put in more money, and I did that and so on and so forth. And I remember in just a couple of weeks after that incident happened, I had a portfolio of $5,000. I mean, it didn't go up. I just had $5,000 worth of my money that was there in that portfolio. And surely, because I didn't um, I didn't even do any research at that time. I didn't even ask Will, hey Will, how do I bring my money back out? How do I do that? None of it. It was just so attractive. It was like gambling, but I'm not even attracted to gambling. Like, I don't have a gambling problem addiction, but I have an addiction to like buying cryptocurrencies, even now for that matter. But obviously, I have a lot more sensible and thoughtful approach right now, and I know exactly what I'm getting into. But initial days, none of that existed. Uh, it is, yeah, just reminiscing those days. And surely after a couple of weeks, that portfolio was like less than half of what it was. So it was easy. It was good to say at that point that I messed up. And my portfolio went down, and I was like, okay, this was a good journey, but this is not the end of it, because at that point I realized that, okay, you know what, um, I have nothing against like my friend who told me this and all that stuff. He just showed me a path, but obviously I needed to do my own research and stuff like that. And then I started actually learning about this project, the technology blockchain, and what it can offer, and how is it being actually revolutionizing, like it's revolutionary, how is it revolutionizing our lives, how will it do that in the next couple of years. And I was sold on how this tech worked. And being that tech geeky child, and the creative part aspect of my life also started kicking in. And I just started thinking about it. Okay, this tech is so good. What if there's a project that's trying to solve this in XYZ thing in the vertical? For example, because I was working with clients which were in the 4IR tech space back then. I thought about it like in terms of supply chain, because supply chain was a massive issue. And what if there's a project that could actually validate the supply chain from the uh, manufacturer's end? But even further, maybe, because the manufacturer might be buying iron or steel from someplace else, and then using that steel to make, I don't know, like a metal plate, and then selling it to someone else, and that fabricator is then taking that metal plate and building something, and then finally it's going to the end user. So that kind of validation throughout that journey was missing, or uh, I mean, there's so many times that it can be manipulated and tampered with. And that was something that people were talking about as well. And then I found WeChain, and I was like sold on this. And obviously, um, the projects that were doing well were the ones that also were like the kind of leaders in their own space. In terms of supply chain, WeChain was doing like there wasn't anybody else as well. So I was like, okay, cool, put money on that, and so on and so forth. I started building my portfolio and learning so much from so many different people, so many different blogs out there, YouTubers out there. Not traders as much, but like people who are actually like trying to help with like immense substance. Um, and I was like, started building my portfolio, and I had a portfolio that was in the green, and it was valued at around 13,000, 12, $13,000 at that point. And this was in no time. Yeah. Obviously, it kind of helped that, we were just starting like a bull run as well. So there was that aspect as well to it. But definitely, it just started kicking off from there. And then in no time, like my brothers were like, yeah, you know what? I bought Bitcoin. You know, I want to buy Bitcoin, and I bought Bitcoin. And my other brother's like, yeah, I bought some Ethereum and so on and so forth. And in no time, my brothers are invested in crypto. I'm handling my mom and dad's portfolio. And my brother's friends, my friends are calling me up, asking me for this and that and all of this, and so on and so forth. And I was just like, wow. And in no time after that, I had to start charging people to do the same, because my time was so valuable to me. If I'm helping other people, and I'm happy to help, no doubt. And that's what this podcast is about as well, because it's the people that I can't reach out to right now, uh, from a personal one-on-one time perspective. This is the medium that I use to reach out to you guys. Um, so I had to start charging people, because if I'm not researching, if I'm not reading, if I'm not learning, and I was working at that time, so I had only limited number of hours in a day, to even like sustain as a human being. So I had to charge like 50 dirhams, 100 dirhams, 200 dirhams, 500 dirhams, 1,000 dirhams for 1 hour of consultation. Wow. Okay, 1,000 dirhams like is 20,000 rupees for just 1 hour consultation. Um, and it just started exploding from there. And it's amazing, because just last year I bought my first ever car, my own car. Like I bought it, like, and it was amazing, that feeling. And I didn't buy just any car. I bought the car that I really, really, really wanted, which is a Jeep Wrangler, um, all black, fantastic, mean beast of a vehicle. Um, and I got it last year, thanks to crypto. Like it's enabled me to do that as well. Not what the first sexiness that came from crypto, seeing those private jets, those holidays, all of that. No, no, no. I'll get there. I mean, I don't know if I want one, but I'll get there. Um, Soon enough. I'm 100% sure. So I started doing that, and it was just last year that I quit my job last December. I quit my job, and then decided to, like, actually just take a break and travel. You know, it didn't really help that the markets were also kind of like dropping from there onwards. Uh, um, and I was just like, what, I've taken profits, I've learned strategies over the time. I didn't even know how to invest. Like, I would just take the whole money that I want to, like, invest at the end of the month when I get my paycheck. I was like, okay, I need to invest the X amount of dollars, $1,000, $2,000. I just go buy it all at one shot. I didn't even know that there was something called DCA, and through the journey, I learned it all out, from different points, from different people at different point of times, and started like building my own structure of how I should get into like a crypto project, and have my own process. And it's been such a wonderful, overwhelming, humbling experience. Like, guys, I have no other way to tell you this. Um, and yeah, so I quit my job in December. I decided to travel. I was doing all of that, met some wonderful people, and throughout this time, I've actually met people, uh, and they've told me that, hey, Nan, I've learned so much from you on this like 20-minute chat or 30-minute chat. I think you should, like, start uh, creating content around it. Should do like maybe a podcast, something like that. Should do this kind of stuff. And I was like, yeah, I always had it in the back of my head, like my field projects, and I didn't want this to be that. Uh, I didn't want this to be that, so I was like, I kind of like kept putting it off. Like I never did that. And then after traveling for almost like 2 months, I was flying back from Bangalore. I met my grandmom, and I was flying back from from grandmom land, yeah, grandmom land, Bangalore, to Dubai. Um, and it was a very long day, hectic day, and I was so exhausted. I was just looking forward to like crashing on the flight. I got one of those window seats so I could put my head on the window and just pass the fuck out. And I remember getting on the plane, and there was this guy sitting on my side, on the left hand side, and I was just taking a video, like, just making like a small reel or something like that. I seen these travel pages on Instagram making these reels and showing you these tutorials. So I wanted to try that. The intention was to try that, but I was so exhausted. I was like, yeah, forget it. Just do that. And I hear this noise from the side, this voice from the side saying, "Can you please send me that video?" And I looked at him, I was like, yeah, okay. Are you like a content creator? He's like, yeah, I'm a marketing specialist turned content creator. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, what are you? I was like, crypto coach. Like I teach people things about crypto and stuff like that. And he goes, no way, I help coaches and this and that. And that conversation went on for almost the whole entirety of that flight, and I was so exhausted. And actually at the end, like somewhere when I couldn't take it anymore, I had to just tell him, Swaroop, listen, wonderful talking to you. Let's talk when I'm here in Dubai. But for now, I just need to sleep. It's like, yeah, cool. And that was it. He pushed me. Like when we met up in Dubai again, like we went out for like shisha, and we were just talking. And uh, he showed me why I should be doing what I'm doing right now, and I have to give it up to him because he's the one who kind of like showed me the path and pushed me through. I was like, okay, do it, and I think it was a month. Oh God, I need to drink a sip of water, guys. One sec. Yeah, I think it was maybe a couple of weeks, 6 weeks later, Crypto Adnan was born on Instagram, and it was just my personal page that I didn't want to manage multiple pages, so it's the same page. Went ahead, started posting content on crypto. Flew to India, did some shoots over there with the team in India, and just started creating a bunch of content. And the amount of people that have actually reached out to me from communities is insane. The community that I've built in such a short period of time is just unimaginable. And the only way is up, guys. The only way is up. I have to say thank you to everyone who supported me, my friends, my family, mom, dad, Faraz, Rameez, Manisha, Chetan. um uh, you guys know who you are: Ani, Akash, Shruti, all of you guys, my mates, my friends, all of you guys, like, are just such sweethearts. Thank you so much. And all of you guys who I've not named, in my community, wonderful response that I've got over the last couple of months. It's only pushing me to do better and better and better. And so the strategy was, start off 2 months, try something, and then 2 months later try another content strategy, and then 2 months later try another content strategy. And like right now, and guys, a lot of my friends tell me that you have that personality, that vibe to, like, sit in front of a camera and vlog and talk to people and stuff like that. But guys, I am also very camera shy. It doesn't look like that. Maybe it does look like that, I don't know. But yeah, so it took me also getting overcoming a lot of the preconceived notions in my head, to like actually get started with all of these things. um and it was just wonderful, like how this last 6 months, 6 7 months has been. And it's come to a point where I'm uh, doing lives every Wednesday on my YouTube channel, but I'm sitting here with you guys, like talking to you guys as a podcast, talking to you guys. And the kind of things that I have planned coming up in the next couple of months is just fascinating, like how quickly we're growing, how quickly we're doing what we're doing. um it's insane. And like, as the time has progressed, I've met a lot more people who have told me, you should be doing, I've learned so much from you in this 30-minute call. It's never really a 30-minute call, it's always like, because 45 minutes, 1 hour, sometimes even longer. And they go like, yeah, oh, I've learned so much from you, thank you so much for your time. And I'm really, really happy to give that time. And at that point I decided that, listen, I think, how do I do this for the complete masses, the all of you guys out there who I haven't been able to reach to? How do I do this for you? And at that time, like, I was sitting with my team and I discussed, and we're like, let's do a podcast. Okay, fuck yeah, man, podcast, finally, it's like, as I am going through this journey, I'm unlocking newer things, and I'm so excited to do those, and obviously, like, um show you guys, that kind of uh, evolution of this uh, crypto Adnan thing, like me. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, okay, let's get started. And my team's like, okay, this guy has another idea. Oh my God, he's gonna like, no, I'm just kidding. I was like, okay, cool. So, what should we name the podcast? And we had a couple of like brainstorming sessions and thought about it. Like, okay, what do we, name this podcast? And then we came up with three names, and then I reached out to you guys on my Instagram, and I asked, like, guys, what should I name this podcast? And you guys chose the name, the Crypto Unlock Show. I put the in there because I just think it's a lot more better. And guess what? 1 month later, I'm here. I am doing this. I'm recording this show right now for you guys, and it's insane. Like, I'm just super excited for what we have here in store, and that actually leads me to, you know. this next part of this podcast, as to what is this podcast about. And this podcast, I will be talking to you guys, breaking down a lot about blockchain technology and what are the use cases of this. What is your Bitcoin, Ethereum, DeFi, NFT, DAOs, your metaverse, all of these things. What is all of this stuff? And how is it going to actually change our lives, from tomorrow itself, and how are we gonna, like, really make a lot of money through this as well, um, by investing and not trading. And I also already have lined up two guests who will be joining us on episode 2 and 3 respectively. um, uh, and we'll be talking to them about this whole space, Web3, and the whole ecosystem. And we will also be talking about more current affairs kind of topics as well. I, anyways, do that on my lives every Wednesday on YouTube, but also talk about, what's happening in the current space from macroeconomics perspective. What all is happening, and as simple as that, breaking the bullshit aside from all the articles that come out, all the news, all the jibber jabber that happens on Twitter and the internet, trying to, like, really, like, just take all of that fat and trim it and give you what it is, and simplify it as much as possible so that you guys don't get left behind. And that's the whole essence of this podcast, because um, I really believe that success is not just me growing, or my family and my friend, like the people around me, growing. For me, success is me growing. Yes, my family growing, my neighbors growing, my friends growing, the people I interact with on a day-to-day basis, all of us growing. And that's what I see as success. That's what I believe in. Abundance. I believe in the law of attraction, and this is something that has inculcated in me, that, okay, you know what, I want to go out and get it done with value and substance. And this is why this podcast is going to give you that kind of value that, I mean, I'm not going to say that this no other podcast probably gives it, but I'm going to give you my perspective, if how I treat what's happening in and around the space right now, what's happening with the crypto, the markets, and so on and so forth. And hopefully, in that whole journey, at least one person will really benefit from it, and I see that as success. Um, yeah, guys. And so I'm gonna move on to the next part of this podcast, which is just talking to you about how the kind of format works. So basically, every week, every month, this podcast is going to release again on YouTube as a video, and on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. as just audio files and podcasts as well. And yeah, so it's gonna be released once a month, and every episode I'm gonna have a guest who will join us, and they will be subject matter experts in and around their field. You know, Web3, DeFi, NFT, even people who are developing in this space. Not only investors, not only users like you and I, but all of this will be and I'll be getting all those kind of guests on board, and I'm really excited to pick their brains on their journey and what do they think of what's happening currently in this industry. So guys, with that, I would like to thank you so much for listening in for all this time. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate it. And guys, wherever you're listening to, wherever you're watching this, please do give this a like. Share this with your friends and family. And I promise you, I did hit the mic there. I promise you, from episode 2, it's gonna be a lot more about crypto and a lot less about Crypto Adnan. So, guys, thank you so very much, and see you on the next episode.